All right, let's keep it going. The gauntlet. Being relevant to what's going on today. If you're talking about Trump and the monkey pictures, and you're not talking about what's going on in the market, but you're talking about the monkey photos, you see, that's the hand quicker than the eye trick. You have no idea what's going on in the market, but you know about them photos. And that's all you be talking about. I wish somebody would put my face on the body of a monkey. That's what you're talking about. While they got you thinking about that, they moving the money right up under your nose. You don't have the body of a monkey. Everybody got the same body. So who gives a shit? That's what I'm saying. You're too busy thinking about what's going on with the left or thinking about what's going on with the right, and you're not staying right down the middle. I'm not going to stay too much on that. I have to repeat it, though, because you can find anything that goes with your argument. Why don't you know what's going on with the market? The gauntlet. Well, let's start off with talking about delayed reports. Delayed reports. You have to know that the information is delayed in the first place. So if they're saying it's delayed on top of being delayed. When you get a report for January, it's the December report. December has to play out. Why is it so important to talk about December? Because that's when all the slaves spend their money. That's when the slaves are set up to spend their money. In December, in the first quarter. And then for the rest of the year, you're late on your bills and everything because you keep spending your money in the first quarter and you're playing catch up for the rest of the year. And want to complain about Obama's on monkey pictures on on social media. Why don't you stay in your lane and mind your business? Understand what's going on in the market. Because if you don't, you chasing clout, you doing all that stuff that they want you to do. They're making you feel that way. It's the spin cycle. It's the cesspool of information that everybody has a hand or a foot in that bucket. And you see why you get the crab in the bucket mentality, because you got all these crabs in the bucket. We can tell by what you say. Surround yourself with people who know. Not about the monkey pictures. Man, people think they know. You don't know nothing. You know what they want you to know. It's something, it's the noise that have the zombies gravitating to the noise. We're trying to pull you away from the abusers. You're doing exactly what they want you to do. Delayed reports. You have to want to know what the report is before you can understand that it's delayed. I'm trying to help as many people as I can, but they're so stuck in their ways, they can't see what's right in front of them. Hence, working for 70 plus years and hopping in the casket and letting the government rape you, basically. I say, oh, don't say the R word. I say what I want to say. Because I'm saying what it is. We all suffer from the same stuff. So we're here for the gauntlet. Now I got to go on my little rants. It's necessary for people who haven't heard me speak. I'm not going to stop saying what I'm saying. I have to keep saying it because it's worth being said. I wish somebody would have told me this when I was coming out of high school. I'd be on Mars somewhere with Elon, building cities with all the bags. Better late than never, right? Late bloomer, I'm good with that. Make sure my family knows. I got to start somewhere. The buck has to stop somewhere and start somewhere, right? Let's get it. Delayed information. This is February. So in February, we get January reports. In March, we get the February report. It's a delayed report. But if it's delayed on top of being delayed, then it's even more manipulative. They're manipulating. They don't have to be delayed. They choose to be delayed. We got to understand, man. Enough people who claim to be so powerful and all this, they don't know none of this. It's a clout cycle. Oh, we got the clout. Whoa, we don't listen to him. He don't have the clout. Oh, I'm not here for clout. I got clout in my bank account. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about paying forward the proper information so people can get on the train and get to the business, right? That's what we're here for. Like, oh, the market's falling. Oh, OG must be hurting right now. No, I ain't hurting nothing. I keep showing you my platforms. I keep showing you my brokerages that I deal with. I'm not in the negative like that. Whenever the market crashes, I come in and do a video. You see it's green or blue, Smurf Village. That's what you got to learn how to do the ebbs and the flows, right? I still haven't even got to the gauntlet. The dollar, right? You need to know the value of the dollar. The 10-year yield. You need to know the cost to borrow the US dollar. The Japanese 10-year yield. The cost to borrow the Japanese 10-year yield. The volatility index for the stock market. You need to know that volatility, whether it's high or low. When the volatility is low, the market is at all-time highs. When the volatility goes high, then the markets are crashing. The stock market, right? Now we added the gold volatility, right? I don't know too much about the gold volatility. I'm learning. I added it to our gauntlet so we can see how it fluctuates through the basic scale of 100. And then what does it do when it gets up to the 60s, 70s, 80s? And what does it do when it's down towards 35, 25, and 15 at the bottom of the scale? We're about to see because we're going to put it implement it into our functionality here, right? So start off with the dollar. We know it's dropping. We know we're going into quantitative easing, and I'm using the weekly charts. I'm usually on the daily, but we're going to go up a time frame. We're going to go to the weekly, and we're going to look at the patterns. You see that L is dropping down and then going sideways. It is a bearish flag pattern, right? You have the pole coming down and then the flag going to the side, which means it's giving the impression that it's going to drop down another level. 110 at the premium, 100 is the middle of price, and then 90 is the discount. It just is what it is. I don't have to charge you $10,000 to tell you this. This is public knowledge. We all have access to charts. You just need someone who can get you able to navigate the ship. It's your ship. I can't do it for you. I can only tell you what I'm doing. I'm paying attention to what the chart says. If you can pay attention to what the chart says, then you can take advantage of what the chart says, just like I take advantage of what the chart says. And everybody that's on my team can take advantage of what the chart says. It's the community of traders around the world is who I'm talking to. Everybody, this has to do with everyone, right? So now that I've explained so much, so many times, it's like I can make it look simple. It's very technical. It has a lot of moving parts, but it's all repetitious, right? You can see the Harami. We talked about the Harami pattern. Anytime you look at a chart, you just start looking through there. Do you see Haramis? A candle that's fully consuming another candle? And you see why I don't call them bearish or bullish, because you can see them pretty much anywhere. It doesn't mean that it's going to be bearish or bullish. You just need to understand where they are. And then once you start putting everything together, it's either going to make sense or it's not going to make sense. When you add the RSI meter, we know we want to buy when we get to the bottom dotted line down there with the red lines down there. You have the 30% down at the bottom dotted line and the 70% at the upper dotted line. You don't want to make no buy positions until you get down to that bottom dotted line. And you don't want to do any selling positions until it gets to the upper dotted line. You see it spends a whole bunch of time in the middle. We buy low at discounts, we sell high at premiums, and we stay out the middle. That's what we're supposed to do, right? But none of us are really trading the dollar. We just want to know when the dollar is losing its value and when the dollar is gaining its value. How does it gain value? When the world spends dollars, they're requiring another resupply. So when we spend the dollars that were printed, they had to print those dollars, which makes the dollar go down. You see on that weekly chart, the dollar has been doing nothing but going down. That means we've been printing nothing but money for the whole world. It's the world currency, right? And it's going to keep going down. Why? Because everybody's spending all their money and they're going to need more resupply. Resupply on top of resupply on top of resupply, tens of trillions of dollars, which is going to push the value of the dollar down. And then the cost to borrow it, they're making it go up. They who? But we're not going to go into all that. You can go through all these charts that we're talking about for the gauntlet and just look at the price and then apply the scale to it. You'll see where you are, right? You'll see if you're at the top, you'll see if you're at the bottom, and you'll see if you're at the middle of the structure. And all you got to do is read it. And once you get comfortable with reading it, okay, well, how do I apply this to trading and investing? Right, there you go. Now you're asking questions. Maybe you'll send me an email. I'll be like, oh, gee, I had a question. Right, there you go. There's the email. Ask whatever you want to ask. I say everything all the time, so it's not like I don't answer all the questions every time I do videos. I'm always applying what's relevant to what's going on today. All right, so shout out to the people. I didn't talk about the fear and greed. Well, what I want to say about the fear and greed is that if the market is at all-time highs, the stock market, because crypto just crashed, and you see the fear and greed on crypto is at pretty much the lowest I've seen it. You want to have a history with the fear and greed index. You want to be able to know the last time it was at extreme fear and the last time it was at extreme greed. In the middle is not too much of nothing, because you want a dollar cost average. Crypto is being legalized. We had the Genius Act signed into law, and now we're going to have the Clarity Act signed into law. That's going to allow the institutions, the banks, to get involved because they now have legal clarity. And all that liquidity is going to come into the digital market, and it's going to raise all ships. That's how I see it. I can't call the future, but I do know that they're not legalizing this for no reason. You remember when weed used to be illegal, now it's legal. We don't even talk about